It was meant to be the perfect home, a dream realized in the quiet, affluent suburb of Westfield, New Jersey. But at 657 Boulevard, the welcome mat was replaced by a chilling signature that would haunt a family forever. The house was a grand 6-bedroom colonial, standing tall with white columns and a pristine emerald green lawn. This was the heart of the American dream, where flags waved and streets were lined with centuries-old trees. Derek and Maria Broaddus had worked hard for this. They were ready to move in with their 3 young children. Moving day arrived in June 2014. The air was filled with excitement and the sound of heavy boxes hitting hardwood. The kids ran through the empty halls, their laughter echoing as they claimed their new bedrooms upstairs. 3 days later, the dream began to sour. Derek went to the mailbox and found a plain white envelope. There was no return address, just a handwritten note claiming the house had been watched for many decades. The author wrote that their grandfather watched in the 20s and their father in the 60s. Now it was their turn. Confusion quickly turned to a deep, visceral disturbance. The tone of the letters was intimate and menacing. The watcher asked a terrifying question. Do you know what lies within the walls of 657 Boulevard? Late at night, Derek found himself knocking on the wood, listening for hollow spaces or hidden secrets. Even more unsettling, the writer knew them. They were already calling the family by their name. The letter asked if the young blood had found what's in the walls yet, specifically mentioning the basement. The phrase young blood appeared again and again, a sickening obsession with the 3 innocent children. The sight of their children playing now felt like a target being marked. The safety of the home was gone. Derek and Maria sat in their kitchen, the beautiful space feeling like a cage as they read the words together. The police were called, and forensic teams moved in. They dusted the letters for fingerprints, searching for a trace. But there were no clues. No fingerprints, no DNA. Only the generic stamps available at any post office. The family was too terrified to move in. The house stood empty, a beautiful monument to a growing nightmare. 2 weeks later, the second letter arrived. It was more aggressive, more detailed, and more personal. The watcher boasted about their invisibility, claiming to be just another face in the hundreds of passing cars. They knew the children's nicknames. They knew their routines. They were watching every move the family made. The words on the screen were chilling. The house is calling for blood. Who will be next? Desperate, the Broadduses installed state-of-the-art security cameras and hired private investigators to find the culprit. But the surveillance footage showed nothing but a quiet, empty driveway, hour after hour, night after night. A third letter appeared, this time expressing anger. The watcher didn't like the renovations the family had started. The writer listed the specific contractor vehicles, down to the color of the vans and trucks parked outside. Then came the most disturbing line of all. I have seen which bedroom your daughter sleeps in. Derek and Maria looked out their windows, realizing that dozens of neighbors had a direct line of sight. There were 7 houses that looked directly into theirs. Anyone could be the one watching. The family began their own investigation, digging into the backgrounds of everyone living on their block. Suspicion fell on Michael Langford, a reclusive neighbor whose family had lived next door for decades. From his windows he had a perfect view of the Broaddus home, but there was no proof he was the author. They soon discovered the previous owners, the Woods, had also received a letter just before moving out. The Woods family had dismissed it as a prank and never disclosed it to the Broaddusses during the sale. The Broaddusses sued for non-disclosure, but the legal battle only added to their financial and emotional ruin. By late 2014, the story went viral. It was no longer a private nightmare, it was national news. The town of Westfield was on edge. Neighbors began looking at each other with suspicion and fear. Conspiracy theories flooded the internet. Some even accused the Broaddusses of sending the letters to themselves. The house sat empty and unsold for years. Tourists would drive by just to catch a glimpse of the Watcher house. Police files grew thick with interviews, but over 20 suspects were cleared one by one. The case went cold. Crowds of strangers gathered outside, turning the family's tragedy into a macabre local attraction. Finally, in 2019, the Broaddusses sold the home. They took a massive $400,000 loss just to escape. A new family, the Carrs, moved in. They were confident and dismissed the letters as an elaborate hoax. For 2 years the house was silent. No letters, no threats, no signs of the Watcher. But in November 2021, the peace was shattered. A new envelope arrived for the Carr family. The letter was on the same paper. It even mentioned Derek Broaddus by name, proving the Watcher hadn't forgotten. The Carr family realized that the Watcher was still active, still nearby, and still obsessed with the house. The story's notoriety grew even further when Netflix released a series based on the events. Millions of people watched the dramatization, bringing even more unwanted attention to the real 657 Boulevard. The real Broaddus family expressed their disapproval, wanting nothing more than to leave the nightmare behind. Like the real case, the series ended without a clear answer, leaving the mystery unresolved. Today, 657 Boulevard stands as it always has, a beautiful home with a dark, invisible shadow. Some believe the Watcher is a localized tradition, a role passed down through generations of Westfield residents. Older residents gossip in local coffee shops, hinting at letters dating as far back as the 1980s. History suggests this address has been a point of fixation for over 50 years. AI analysis of the writing style suggests the author is likely an educated older person from the area. At sunset today, the Carr family draws their curtains tight, refusing to give the Watcher a view. In a somber interview, Derek Broaddus once said, "We didn't just buy a house. We bought a nightmare." The case even led to new real estate disclosure laws across America, protecting future buyers. Now, sellers must legally disclose if a property has a history of stalking or harassment. During renovations, the Broaddusses even tore open the interior walls, hoping to find the secrets the Watcher mentioned. They found nothing. No hidden rooms, no bones, no secret photographs. Just empty space. Some theorize that something is still there, buried deep in the foundation or hidden behind the attic eaves. The contractors looked for weeks, but found no evidence of any physical secrets within the structure. Perhaps the torture was purely psychological, a game of words designed to drive a family mad. Shadows still dance in the corners of 657 Boulevard, suggesting that the Watcher is always there. The house at sunset remains a focal point for the neighborhood, its white columns glowing in the dying light. In a neighbor's window, a silhouette is visible, holding binoculars and staring directly at the house. The identity remains unknown. The mystery of Westfield remains one of the greatest unsolved true crime stories. Even today, eyes peer through the gaps in the white picket fences waiting for the next new neighbor. An envelope lands in a mailbox, a fresh name on the front. A new story begins for the watcher. The watcher is still there, watching, waiting. Dearest neighbor, welcome home.